Hi, I'm Aaron Barugo with Gorilla Approach, and this is Functional Marksmanship Movements. Today we're going to be shooting the T-drill. The T-drill is an agility exercise that measures a shooter's ability to rapidly accelerate and decelerate into a stable shooting position. So typically where we see a lot of tactical shooters struggle with building speed is we don't actually diagnose issues with form. So we'll see a lot of shooters that are taught to shoot with rigid, boxed up styles, whether this is the September 10th mindset where you gotta square your plates up with the enemy, or if it's just because they have really poor form with their stance and they got their feet close together and their hips really closed up. This becomes very problematic. We're trying to teach shooters to truly go for speed. Another reason we run into issues is because as tactical shooters, we just assume harder is better, so that we assume if we run harder, we're gonna go faster, and that's not really the case. So we're gonna look at how we can actually build speed with the carbine through short, choppy bursts of movement. Now, I truly learned how to shoot for speed by shooting competitively, and it was here that I learned that through rapid acceleration and deceleration with getting into position is how I was able to smooth out my movements so that they weren't sloppy and all over the place, but they were actually being true to form with speed. So we're gonna help you be true to form with the T-drill. The way this exercise is set up is we've got 4 cones. We've got the first cone here, that's at about 30 yards from the target. We've got the next cone in front of it, that's 10 yards away from that cone, 20 yards away from the target. And then to the left and the right, we've got cones that are 5 yards apart, so it forms the T. So the way this drill is shot is you'll start back here at the first cone. You'll sprint up to the cone in the middle. You'll take 1 shot on steel, score a hit. You'll then immediately sprint to the cone that is to your left, that's just 5 yards away. You'll get stable, take a shot at steel downrange, score a hit. You'll sprint all the way to the cone that's onto the right side of the T, passing the middle, get stable, take a shot. You'll come back to the middle, take another shot, and you'll actually finish the exercise by running backwards. Now, I know there might be some red flags going up and some question marks in your head because as tactical shooters, we are taught to never run backwards. Well, this is an agility exercise, and I think that although a lot of guys are really strong, they're great athletes, they lack basic mobility and footwork skills. So we're gonna have you backpedal all the way to the first cone, and you'll finish off your last shot there. So something to think about with backpedaling. Although it's probably not the best idea to do in a tactical environment, there are specific circumstances where you might need to explosively create space and not take your eyes off the perceived threat. Also, just from an agility standpoint, we know that if you don't have your hips rotate past 90 in multiple directions, you'll be quicker with covering short distances. So you can actually see right now with the split screen, as I'm backpedaling versus turning complete 180 and then sprinting and turning a complete 180 to face back up range, I'm quicker covering a short distance with that explosive backpedal to get in position. So again, this is measuring overall agility. Don't worry about letting the tactical arguments get in the way. We want to see your ability to explosively get into and out of position. All right, so that's the T-drill. Par time of 25 seconds. Those of you guys that are really moving will be coming in under 20 seconds. So you spend more time moving than you do shooting in that exercise. Think about that, because when you guys are on target, you spend more time moving or more time shooting. So when we're chasing speed, typically we just try to shoot our gun quicker. If our movement mechanics are slow and we haven't learned to trim the fat, we're gonna be slower overall as a shooter, regardless of how much CrossFit we do or how fast we can actually squeeze the trigger on our gun. If you stick to the boxed up, rigid style of shooting that a lot of us learn as tactical shooters, you're not gonna be quick with this exercise. If you do hard pivots left or right 90 degrees, it's gonna slow you down. So this exercise truly forces you to only move the amount that you need to while under conditions where you're trying to truly go for speed.